Are you looking for a way to advertise your bot? Well, no problem. We have recently started a new Discord bot list where you can see all these amazing bots. They each have their own page in which you can view all their details. So why not advertise your bot? Go to VULTREX.io now and log in and add your bot and fill out the form. Hello YouTube and welcome to episode 4 of this Discord dashboard series. And in this episode we're going to be dealing with our OAuth2 handler now. So this will allow us to log into our website and save our token. So how we're going to begin? Firstly, we want to get some things from the Discord developer page. We want our client secret and our client ID. And we also need to add some redirect URIs into a page on the developers page. I'll show you in a minute. So firstly, we're going to go into our config.ts and we're going to export client ID, which is going to be a string. We're going to export client secret, which will also be a string. We want to export redirect URI, which would be a string. And here, in your guys' cases for now, you'd probably be putting something like localhost on port 3000, since that's the React port. But I'm using a server, so I'm just going to use my server's domain. And then you want a callback URL, which is also going to be a string. And again, you probably use localhost and then your backend port OAuth/callback. But in my case, I'm going to be using my server's domain, like so. So now we need to get our client ID and client secret. So I'll show you where all that's located now. I'll take you to the developer page. Okay, so here we are on the developers page. So here we have our client ID and then we have our client secret. Now, it's called a client secret for a reason. Keep it secret. So before we copy these, first of all you want to go to OAuth2 and you want to add 2 redirect links. First we want, in your case probably going to be localhost like I said, but I'm going to use my server's domain. And then you want your callback URL, which again probably be localhost/OAuth/callback, but I'm using my server's domain. So I'll save changes. So now they'll be valid and there'll be no errors later on regarding that. Now we can copy the client ID and client secret into our config file. So see you back in Visual Studio Code. So here we are back in Visual Studio Code, so we can continue with our code now. So we're going to create a new folder called structures in our source folder, and in here I'm just going to have interfaces.ts, and this will be where we define our interfaces. So first we want an interface. We want to export it called API user, which would be a user object but from our OAuth2. So ID is going to be the type of string, which is our user ID, or the logged in user ID. Then you want the logged in username, the logged in discriminator, the logged in avatar, and then guilds, for now we'll just set it to any array, and then admin, which would be a boolean, which will check if you're the owner of the bot. And now we want to make another interface called API guild min, which is minimal basically. So we'll have a guild ID, a string, a guild name, which is a string, a guild icon, which is a string, and then whether you own the guild or can manage it is a string, and whether the bot's invited to the server. Oh sorry, these are booleans, not strings. Got used to saying string there. They're booleans, and now I'm just going to change this guild's type to API guild min as an array. And those would be the logged in users' guilds that they're in. So Now we're going to create another file called OAuth2 inside of our structures folder. And for this you're going to need a package called Express, which we installed in episode 2. So we've already installed that, so we'll import request from Express. We're going to import our Cairo client from Discord to Cairo. We'll import the guild class from discord.js. We'll import fetch from NodeFetch. We'll import our owners from the config file, like so. And we'll import API user and API guild min from our interfaces, like so. So now we're going to create a new class for this, so we'll want to export this class as well. Export default class OAuth2. So we're going to have a protected variable called client, which will be an instance from the Cairo client, and protected guilds, which will just be an object. And now we want to create our public constructor, which will take a Cairo client as a parameter, and then we can do this.client equals client, and then this.guilds will equal a new object, like so. So now we're going to create a public function which will be async, and we're going to name it resolve information, which will take an express request as its parameter, and it will return either an API user or null. So if there's no request, that's one thing we need to do actually. We need to install express session, like so. So for now we're probably going to get an error because we haven't done the request session yet, but we'll do if there's no request.session.token, then we just want to return null. Otherwise we'll have const user request, which will equal await fetch, and then we're going to fetch from discord.com/API/users/@me, which will be the currently logged in user, in which case we can set some headers, which will have an authorization, which will be bearer request.session.token. And then this token will be exchanged for a user object. So we'll have const user equals await user request, and we'll convert that to a JSON response. And if there's no user.id, we'll return null, which would mean there'll be some sort of error returned. So we'll return null. And now we're going to do, this is how we handle our rate limits. If there's no guilds for that user ID, then we can go ahead and make a request, so they're not cached. So we'll fetch from https://API/users/@me/guilds. And then in the headers we'll have authorization, which again will be bearer request.session.token, and then we'll turn it into a JSON response. So wait guilds request.json, like so. And then we can do this.guilds user.id, which will equal the JSON response, like so. And then after, let's say 5 minutes, we'll want to delete it from the cache and fetch it again. So there's a bit of a refresh. So delete this.guilds user.id. And now what we want to do, I've lost track of where we are. Alright, so it should be this one here, yeah. So finally what we want to do is return the information. So the ID is going to be the user.id. The username will be the user.username. The discriminator will be user.discriminator. Avatar, you guessed it, will be user.avatar. Guilds will be this.guilds user ID, so the object, and we're going to map out each guild, which is going to be API guild min. Right, now we're mapping them. We're going to see if we can get it. So const g, which can be an instance of a guild, this.client.guilds.cache.get guild.id, and then we're going to return an ID, which will be guild.id, name guild.name, icon guild.icon, admin. So if it can get the guild, then it would check if you have the manage server permissions. So we're going to get the currently logged in user as a member, and then check its permissions and check it has manage guild. So that'll return true or false. But if it can't get the guild, then it's just going to check guild.owner, which is a boolean, which that is returned by the Discord API itself. And then const invited, so if it can get the guild, it's been invited. If it can't, it hasn't been invited. Simple as that. And then finally, we want admin, which should just be a check owners.includes user.id. And that's the OAuth2 file. And now what we want to do is create an OAuth2 router in our API. So go into routers, and we're going to do OAuth2 router.ts. This is blazing speed. Wait, no, that's not right.
This is Blazing Fast, a cheap and reliable hosting company. They provide many services to suit your needs, including web hosting, VPS hosting and dedicated servers. They offer a range of VPS servers to suit your bot's needs, starting with 512 MB of RAM up to 16 GB of RAM. You can easily set up your new VPS, and Blazing Fast offers a range of different operating systems. If you're looking for Windows, you will need a 1 GB VPS and above. Perhaps €5 is too much for you. No problem, you can use our code VULTREX to knock 25% off the price, dropping it to only €3.75 a month. Blazing Fast stand out due to their incredible 980 gigabit per second firewall, preventing all kinds of online attacks. Do not expect your service to go offline anytime soon. And if you're in doubt, just look at all these happy customers.
Now here, we're going to import router, request, response and application from Express. We want to import a Cairo client from Discord to Cairo. Whoops, wrong Discord. Discord to Cairo. We want to import fetch from node fetch. Import session from Express session. And import that OAuth2 class that we just created. So that's coming from our structures folder, the OAuth2 file. And then we want to finally import, I believe, we don't need the authorization code. Oh yeah, be our redirect URL. So we want to import our callback URL from our config file, like so. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to create a new class, so export default class OAuth2 router, like we did in episode 2, but this is a different class. Then we're going to have a protected variable, which is going to be an instance of an application. Then we're going to have a client, which being a Cairo client. We'll have a router, not an OAuth2 router. And then we want protected OAuth, which would be OAuth2. Now we want our public constructor, which will take an app. An application, not an application cache. We want a Cairo client, and then we want OAuth2. So this.app equals app, this.client will equal client, this.router will equal router as a function, and then this.OAuth will equal OAuth. And now this is where we're going to define our session and its settings. So this.app.use session, and then that's a function with an object inside of it. So the session secret will be your authorization, just use that. And then resave, you want to set that to false. Save uninitialized. I think that's how you spell it, false. And then our cookie, which is an object. Secure will be auto. Same site is false. HTTP only is false. And then the maximum age before the cookie gets deleted, we'll say it the same as a Discord token. So 7 days. So that's going to be 6048E and then 5 zeros. Like so. And that's our express session defined. And then you want to do this.app.use router. No, this.router. And now here's where we're going to make our endpoints. So this.router.get /OAuth/logout. No, we'll do login first. And then that's going to have a request and a response. And then we just simply want to return a redirect. And we're going to redirect them to discord.com/API/OAuth2/authorize !client_ID. So yeah, we want the client ID as well from our config file. Client ID. And then we want the redirect URI, which is going to equal, so we're going to encode URI component as a function and then put our callback URL within that. And then we want a response underscore type, which is going to equal to code. So that will return a code in the URL parameters. And we want the scope. And again, we're going to encode URI components. And we want the scope to be identify and guilds, like so. So that's our login part done. Now we want to do our logout. So OAuth/logout request and response. And then what's this going to do? So we want to import our redirect URL for this one from our config, our redirect URI. And we want to do request.session.destroy. I'm just putting null in there. Then we want to do return response.redirect to our redirect URL, like so. Now we want to make our callback. So this.router.get /OAuth/callback, which will have a request and a response as normal on every endpoint. And now we're going to use fetch from https://api/OAuth2/token, and this would get us a token from the code that was provided in the URL parameters from the login. So this one is going to be using a post request. Then we're going to have headers. The content type is going to be application/x www form URL encoded. And then we want a body. For this we're going to use TS signal because this throws an error for some reason, I don't know why. So in here we're going to have the body be new URL search params, which is a function with an object, and we're going to have client underscore ID, which is going to be our client ID. Then we're going to have client underscore secret, which is going to be our client secret. We didn't even import it, so we'll import that now. Then we want our grant type, which is just going to be authorization underscore code. We want our code, which is going to be the request.query.code. We want our redirect URI to be our callback URL. We want the scope to be identify. And then we're going to do dot then res equals response.json dot then we'll have a response right here. And then what we're going to do is store the token we get from the response into our express session. So we'll have res and then it would be access underscore token, like so, and then we want to redirect them to our redirect URI, like so. And then our final endpoint. Have I gone too far out? Yes, I went too far out, I think. Yeah, I did. This.router.get/OAuth/details. And then this one's going to be asynchronous. So we want a request and a response. Then we're going to do const details will equal await this.OAuth.resolve information, and we just pass through our request, express request in there, and then return response.status200.send details, and that will send the currently logged in user information. So final part for the backend, we want to open up our API.ts, and we will need to import OAuth2 router from routers OAuth2 router, like so. And then we want protected OAuth, which is going to be an OAuth2, which we need to import that to. So import OAuth2 from our structures /OAuth2, and then we can do this.OAuth. Wait, we need more, I think. Yeah. So we want OAuth. No, wait, we don't need to import that. We can just do new OAuth2. And then this.client. Yeah, that's right. And then we can scroll down, and it's important you keep this router imported at the top of all your other routers. So new OAuth2 router, this.server, this.client, and this.OAuth. And that's our backend done. So now if I start this as a test, so let's compile. I hope to hell there's no errors. So we do node dist /bot.js. Don't be an error. Okay, API is online. Okay. But that doesn't mean nothing could go wrong. So that's us done in the back end for now. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this server using PM2. If you don't know what PM2 is, you can install it using npm-g pm2, and that will install PM2. Now what this does, it keeps your bot online if you're hosting it on a server. Basically, to test this and show you, I need to keep it online. So I'm going to do pm2 start dist/bot.js, and that will keep the bot online. So we're going to move to our front end now. So where we left off last episode, we have app.js, and we need to now install node fetch, and then we can import fetch from node fetch, like so. And then, as you can see, we've already set something up here, so we're going to do fetch HTTPS. So we're going to try and get a currently logged in user now. So in your case, again, it might be localhost, but I'm going to be using my server's domain, so 8080/OAuth/details. So we're going to our details endpoint here, and I don't think, no, we don't use headers or anything. There's no authorization. Yeah, as simple as this, isn't it? Should be. And then we want to convert it to a JSON response. Then response, and we also have a catch just in case anything goes wrong, in which case we'll do this.state and then set load into false. And now in here, if there's no response.user, no, is that right? Yeah, if there's no response.id, I think, then we can return this.setState load in false. Wait, no, it'll return null, won't it? So if there's no response at all, okay, and then we can do this.setState load in false user response. Okay, that should work, and then we can get rid of this code that we made last video. And then if there's no currently logged in user, we want to replace this URL with your login endpoint. So OAuth/login. And then that'll check if they're logged in. And then is there anything in the navigation bar we missed out? This.props.user.username. No, it looks fine. Looks fine. Okay, so let's start this website. So Npm Start. And this always takes a moment to start. Guys, after double checking something, I just realised that we can't name this res because res is supposed to be our express response. So just change this to response, like so. Otherwise, it's going to say that response.redirect is not a function. So just do that and compile. Okay, so while testing, I also noticed on the front end that there's actually another problem. I forgot to do credentials include, like so. So yeah, I will now test the website and show you. So here we are on Firefox. We're going to the website now. It wants to access your username and avatar and know what service you're in. If I hit authorize, and here I am. As you can see, it says logout Missy. So yeah, it knows that I'm logged in. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.